Plaintiff Deborah Burgert says she and the defendant were friends, and they often partied together. But the defendant had a crazy boyfriend who always tried to hit on Deborah. Deborah's suing because she claims the defendant borrowed her car and wrecked it, and she's failed to pay for the damages. Defendant Michaeline Schmidt says she knew Deborah was a cougar, but insists she had no idea her boyfriend was hitting on Deborah. Michaeline admits that she got into an accident in Deborah's car, but refuses to pay for the damages because Deborah should have had car insurance.
Tell me what's going on.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I have been watching you since 2000, and I appreciate your success story that you've made with your life, and I feel like you're really great for your community and the people of the youth that you're trying to help in society. So I just wanted to thank you for letting me be in your court.
Oh, thank you.
So, and unfortunately.
Yes, ma'am.
It's gonna make me feel a little pumped here. But anyways, unfortunately, I have to be here to sue a friend. And Michaeline and I have been friends for a long time. And we used to hang out, you know, I used to babysit for her daughters, and we would hang out, you know, play cards and do normal things that friends do, you know. She's got this crazy boyfriend, though, that would always try to, like, hit on me and stuff, but that's okay. You know, I mean,
Did she know that?
I mentioned it, but it was just like she thought I was trying.
Huh?
She didn't really want to think that maybe I was telling the truth or something.
Did you tell her?
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it.
She just blew it off?
But see, I knew him even before her because he was roommates with my son. So, but and he even then was like, he liked.
Now that sounds like an excuse.
No.
I knew him before you, so that's the reason.
She was
that's the reason you catch us on the phone is because we were just friends before you knew us. It's innocent. We having dinner together with the candle because I just knew him before, and we used to. Come on, you tell me this part. This part is juicy. What's this about her knowing your friend?
I was unaware that my boyfriend was hitting on her. I mean, I knew she was around, and I would see her over there doing the dishes and making dinner and taking the trash out and that kind of stuff. And
I'm about right with her candles.
Right. Well, the place stunk, so, you know, probably, yeah, she would probably do that. She's a clean lady, that's for sure. But, you know, I knew she liked young guys, and, you know, she's always liked younger guys.
No wonder you're winking and blinking at me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I saw over there complimenting me and winking and blinking.
Yeah, well, you know, so, but her and I hit it off, though, with whatever. And
that's friends.
Yes.
I know, I got you.
We're just friends. And we became friends, and like she said, she was babysitting my daughters while I was working, and we would hang.
You didn't say you were a cougar. You didn't tell me that part.
She's a cougar.
Yeah.
She said
There's nothing wrong with that.
I finally had to give it up, though. You know, I got a little too old for that.
To her husband? Oh, you mean stop.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
All right. Go ahead. What are you suing for? The cost of a car?
Yes, sir. Well,
before I get in any further
like I
trouble.
said, she was a single mother, and I was a single mother with my two sons, bringing them up. So I know what it's like to have to try to get to work and to make your money and have to pay your bills, you know. So, but like I did say too, we were really good friends and everything. And unfortunately, the chaoticness of life, everything, you know, I think it just that day, perhaps maybe was just poured over into the accident. I don't know what happened. You know, it was an accident. It terribly was an accident.
She was using your car, obviously.
Yeah, she needed to get to work, and her car wasn't running at the time. So, you know, friends as we were and everything, I said, yeah, no problem. You know, I was behind on my insurance at the time. She said she had full coverage, so, you know, it should have been all good. And then so like a day went by. I didn't think anything of it because I felt like she was responsible enough to, you know, to deal with it or whatever. I called and I was like, so what's up, you know? And she said, well, did they call you? And I'm like, who? And she said, the police. And I went, why would the police call me? And she said, well, I had a little fender bender in your car. And I was like, you know that feeling you get, you know, inside? Like, you're like, oh, what happened?
4,000 is more than a fender bender, but go ahead.
Yeah.
You're suing her for 4,000.
Well, there was quite a lot of damage. And
you have pictures?
Yes, I do, sir.
Let's see it, please.
There's the red carpet. Yeah, that's what I mean, they were sitting at a light waiting to proceed through the intersection, and She hit an SUV, though, which was, I think, was the major problem because of it being sitting up higher.
Is this the engine that's cracked?
Yeah.
More than a fender bender.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said when I saw it. I was like, oh, you know, but I mean.
Ma'am, tell me what happened.
Well, at the time, I was on my way to work. As she stated, I borrowed her vehicle. My car was in the shop, so I got called into work, and I was driving to work. We were sitting on the highway. There was a red light. The car went. I went. The car stopped. I was going about 4 or 5 miles an hour. So
Four or five?
Yes. I mean, I barely was on the, I'm telling you, I was sitting at a red light.
This is damage that occurred as a result of 4 miles per hour driving.
Yes. Well, the airbags did not go off. There was no, it was, all that is a buckled hood. At the time, that's what it looked like to me.
So what did you all discuss regarding...
Well, I was cited with a stop and go citation. And then her and I, after, you know, I got the car out of the impound, took it to her, and then she had a personal friend of hers who was a mechanic, and he took it, or looked at it.
Did you discuss reimbursing her?
Absolutely. And I assumed my insurance, because I had full coverage insurance, would cover it. But she did not have insurance coverage on the vehicle.
What did your insurance say?
They said they did not cover the vehicle.
Why?
They only covered the car that I hit. They only cover my car.
But you thought they covered that?
Absolutely. I had full coverage insurance. So I assumed that meant that I was covered to drive any vehicle.
Who do you think is responsible?
I believe that she's responsible.
Why?
Well, ultimately, what I feel is she should have insurance, or she should have never let me driven her car. I mean, to be honest,
and you believe you had it?
I had full coverage insurance. I did.
And you believe it covered the car that you drove?
I did believe that at the time. Yes, I did not know that it would not cover her vehicle.
And she said the reason she allowed you to, knowing that she didn't have it, she said it's because you told her you did and that yours covered it.
I did.
So how are you going to hold her liable for misleading her or telling her something that wasn't true? Had she known it wasn't true, she probably wouldn't have allowed you to drive. Had you said to her, well, I have insurance, but it doesn't cover your car, she'd have said, oh, no, honey, give me my keys. No, ma'am. But instead, you said, oh, my insurance will cover your car, no worries. Being a friend, she said, okay, if your insurance will cover it, fine, because I don't have any. Not that it's relevant, because insurance issues do not affect the loss that a person suffers when another is negligent with their property. And you were negligent because you received a stop-and-go ticket. They determined you were negligent. So that's what you told her? You told her your insurance should settle it. Don't call me with that no more. What did you say? Is that what you told your friend?
No.
Okay, well, what did you say?
Well, we stayed in touch and we communicated on a day-to-day basis, and every day talking about this car. Every day in and day out. She shows up at my house. I have company over, screaming, yelling. My children are there, this, that,
Screaming
whatever.
And yelling about what?
About when are you going to fix my car?
Oh, you had agreed to fix it, obviously.
I did agree to fix it.
All right. So when did you say you would
I never said when. I just assumed that. I mean, I didn't say when. I mean, she knew I didn't have any money.
2 years, 3 years, whatever.
No. I mean, I planned on fixing it, but it has been a year right now.
It has been a year?
Yes, it has been a year.
You haven't given her a dime?
No, we haven't spoken in a year.
Go ahead, ma'am. What do you want to tell me?
Well,
about this? Did she ever
she did sign a promissory note that I asked for her. If she's did sign that, and I let her actually pick the date of when she would decide to have it paid by. And these were some texts that I had gotten from her, just said that she would pay for them and so forth. But she did, and you know, we're not disputing that. I also have the estimates from the mechanic that kept the car for a year, and I held on to it because I wasn't really sure if it was going to be relevant or not to try to get it fixed. But it's way and beyond. And then also here's the blue book.
I admit to being responsible for the accident and damage to Deborah's car. She intends on taking responsibility for the car being completely fixed and repaired by the end of the summer of 2012. What was the discussion afterwards before you started showing up at her house?
I went there once. I didn't have any way to get there, so I did go there one night when I found out how much more damage there was. Once the mechanic got the hood off the car, we found out that everything had been pushed through the firewall. Everything had been shoved through the firewall of the car. Also, because it had to be driven out of the impound and so forth, the catalytic converter got clogged and did damage to the transmission and the engine. So the car would completely have to have a new whole front end, engine and everything done, because we're not sure whether it's the engine, transmission, everything is completely ruined now at this point. It wasn't as much as the physical outside part of the look too. That a new hood could have been put on. It's beyond. It's totaled.
It's totaled?
Yeah, it's never going to be drivable. I mean, we would have to spend more to fix it than it's worth. It's more than what I paid for it. The damage.
Okay.
Pretty much would have to have a whole new engine.
So where do you get your $4,400 from?
That was how much I paid for the vehicle, and so I was just.
I can only give you what it was worth.
I understand.
At the time.
The Blue Book value.
The day before the damages.
Yeah, the Blue Book value was $4,000 for it now.
You have that?
It was a pretty nice car. I gave you the paper.
It says $3,826.
Oh, okay. I thought it said $4,000. I'm sorry.
All right. Any defense? Any further defense?
The car, I never received an estimate. I never received any kind of paperwork. I never received anything from a court or anything. So.
Well, pretty much, Your Honor, after this,
what is this?
A month after this happened, she turned her phone and changed it.
Damage estimate value of the car. Well, why don't we just give her what the repair shop? You rather pay that?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You rather pay that? That's $5,000.
No, I just want to know where's the itemized. Yes, thank you.
Which one you want to pay? 38 or
I don't want to
$5?
pay any of it.
Well, you're gonna have to. Which one you want?
That one.
Thank you. 38. What was it?
38.26.
38.26 is your judgment, ma'am, of the value of the car at the time of the accident. Have a good day.
Thank you. I'd like to be friends with her again. I mean, we were really good friends, and it's just a shame that an accident had to come between this. Things happen in life, but I always liked her, still like her, loved her kids. Be cool to be friends again.
Absolutely.
I miss you, Shorty. I miss you too.